Real estate teams suck. Why would you even join a team? Well, after being in the business for 24 years, being a broker owner for 15 years, a team leader for 15 years, and a coach to top producing agents all over the country for the last 8 years, the answer is very clear to me. Most agents struggle because they don't have enough leads. They're drowning in admin work and they never get to unplug. But the funny thing is, every one of those problems gets solved when you're on the right real estate team, including making more money. So let me show you how. The number one benefit to being on a team, well, not necessarily the number one, but the first benefit that comes to mind for me is the leads and opportunities that you get. You see, I meet with a lot of agents. I want to learn about their business, what's holding them back, what's impeding their success. And the number one thing that they tell me is the lack of opportunities, that they don't have enough leads, that they don't have enough at bats. This is super important because a consistent pipeline of opportunities leads to growing a business. Without leads and opportunities, you have no pipeline. With no pipeline, you have no income. Leads and opportunities are basically the oxygen to your business. So what do you need to have in order to generate more leads? One is you have to have the right marketing systems. You have to have 4 pillars of income. And what I mean by that is that if you were to take a chair, say a one-legged chair, it would not be nearly as stable as a 4-legged chair. Well, a lot of real estate agents have one lead source, and they don't even necessarily work it really good because they don't have a system in place. Most of them leverage their sphere of influence as much as they can, but that only produces 4 or 5 transactions a year. When you have 4 pillars of income, whether it's open houses, working expireds, geographic farming, door knocking, you name it, when you have 4 different pillars of income, you have more stability to your business. You have more opportunity to scale up the number of opportunities that you're generating. And so how do you go about doing that? Well, you can build it all out on your own, or you could join a team that already provides high quality leads so that you can focus on conversion. Now, the big thing about that is you can either invest the time and money into building it out, or you can go into a proven team where those systems are already in place. Saves you a lot of time and a lot of money where you can just focus on conversion. The number 2 item is the support. I mentioned when I started this that a lot of people are just drowning in administrative tasks. The thing is that if you have support there to take care of the administrative tasks and the transaction needs that you have, you can spend more time on the real estate activities, the real money-making activities. And quite frankly, most of us real estate agents, we're not even good at the administrative tasks. And so when you have an admin in place that can help you with that, they're going to likely do a much better job. I still remember the time before I had my first client care coordinator. My coach at the time said, I want you to track every activity that you're doing that relates to transaction coordination. We wanted to find out how many hours are spent on every deal in transaction coordination. What we learned over time was that there's roughly 20 to 25 hours that are lost in taking care of all the busy work that's related to that transaction. Working with the lender, working with the home inspector, well and septic, scheduling closings, organizing all the paperwork, building the file, working with the closing agent, reviewing title work, you name it, okay? And so if you're doing, let's just say 10 transactions in a year, let's be conservative and say it takes 20 hours to do the transaction coordination from acceptance to close. If you're doing 10 transactions times 20 hours, you're going to be looking at 200 hours that you could gain back by simply having somebody take care of all that admin work. That is 5 full weeks at a 40-hour pace. Now, there's different level of support that's needed. I think of a couple different opportunities. You've got the new agent and you've got the top producer. The new agent, here's an example actually from my team. We've got a brand new agent, got his first deal under contract, $900,000 house. I mean, what a great opportunity that was, right? Like a $900,000 house for a first-time agent. Well, that brand new agent had no idea on what to do from acceptance to close. That's a whole training piece by itself, all right? What that agent was able to do is he was able to hand off the transaction to our experienced client care coordinator, somebody who manages hundreds of these transactions, takes care of everything from acceptance to close, and that agent was then able to go back out and hunt and serve another family. Because of that agent actually got 2 more deals under contract real quickly instead of losing all of his time trying to figure out how to manage the transaction. The result of that at closing was a really happy buyer that when they showed up, gave a big hug to the client care coordinator because she did such an amazing job. Now, conversely, let's look at the top producers. They need a different level of support. For them, it's not as much about how do you get onto the MLS and how do you do this paperwork and how do I schedule this closing and all that. For them, it's about managing the high volume of transactions that they're doing. When you're doing 50 or 60 transactions in a year, you can't possibly also manage all the details, or you're going to have no life. And so I think of a gentleman on our team who got 4 accepted offers just last weekend. Over the weekend, when those accepted offers were inked, he was able to then turn those over to the client care coordinator, who's going to process them from acceptance to close, which allowed him to go back out there and serve more families and not get caught up in the minutia of the transaction. If he was managing all those tasks, he would have spent all of this week doing nothing about doing only managing those activities. And so what's involved? Who do you need in order to have the right level of support to help your business grow? Well, client care coordinator, an administrative person who's handling your closings, handling your listings, somebody who's handling all the marketing, right? We talked about marketing systems and lead gen just earlier. Well, having somebody who is a marketing coordinator and can manage all of that, and your social media page, right? Like managing the social media is going to might take half hour, 60 minutes per day. And so if you have somebody on staff who can do all of that, it frees you up to service more clients. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do it. One is you can hire all these people. So I want you to think about what that looks like. You're going to have to create the job description. You're going to have to run the ads. You're going to have to review their resumes when they come in. You're going to have to schedule the interviews, conduct the interviews, and when you finally find the right person, you're going to have to do the background checks, all right? And so then when you bring them on board and they sign their onboarding paperwork, you have to train them. Now imagine you're into this for 6 weeks. Imagine that they just don't work out and you got to let them go and you start over. You start that whole process over. All that time you invested in that person took you away from the real money-making activities of going out there and selling more homes. That's option 1. Option 2 is you can continue to try to do it all on your own, and that's only going to allow you to scale so far. The right option is to plug into a team who has the built-in support network so that you don't have to do all the hiring and training yourself. All right. The other thing that is a real big benefit of a team is their technology stack. All right. Tools for lead generation, your CRM, transactions, digital signature, storage of all the files, or keeping you compliant. This is really important because what it does is it creates leverage. Leverage isn't just people. Leverage is also systems. Leverage is also technology. And so leverage is going to save you time and save you effort. It's going to streamline processes for you. It's going to boost your conversion rates. It's going to create more opportunities by having the right technology that you can utilize for lead generation or making sure that people don't fall through the cracks. All right. It also provides you awareness of what's working in your business. What lead sources are working? Which lead sources are working that you can double down on? Which lead sources are not working? It provides you awareness of the money-making activities that you're either doing or not doing so that you can make adjustments. And right now, AI is being ingrained in a lot of technology that we use. Our CRM and our website has AI ingrained right into it. If the user behavior is doing something that we should know about, our AI is letting us know that. Our AI is scheduling a follow-up and scheduling a task, letting us know that we need to reach out to this person. Okay? But here's one thing that I found in going through technology changes over the last 10 years. Every time I upgrade my website, my CRM, I bring some new technology to the fold because things are advancing so fast, there's time and money associated with that. When I've looked at my CRM, when I've built out my new website, I remember building out my first website probably about 9 years ago. I had hundreds of hours invested into building that out. I didn't have the money at the time to go and hire somebody else to do that. And so it took me the time to do it. From about 10 at night to 2 in the morning, that was my job for months, okay? Every time I make a transition, it costs me time and money. The great thing is that you don't have to go through that. You can jump into the right team and leverage the team's pre-built tech stack that is included in your split, included in your fees. Don't take the time to try to build this on your own. Spend your time servicing more clients. Now, the number one thing for me that's most influenced my career and my growth, and I believe is a catalyst for others as well, is coaching. Coaching provides guidance. It provides accountability. Coaching helps remove impediments. And it's really important because it shortens the learning curve. All right. You want a coach who's been where you want to go. If you want to learn how to golf, you go hire a golf professional. If you want to learn how to sell more real estate, you hire somebody, a coach who's already doing what you're looking to do. It also helps you avoid the mistakes, all right? That's a big thing. Not only finding out what works, but finding out what doesn't work. Save you time, save you money, and accelerates your results. Now, there's different coaching that you can find too. You can find group coaching, you can find one-on-one coaching, you can find somebody who's going to coach you weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. When you start growing your business and you want an elite level coach, I'm seeing that cost anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 a month. It's not cheap, but it's actually less expensive than trying to figure it out on your own. You can also hire production coaches, okay? People who are going to help you with role play, situational, objection handling. All right, so we have a coach in our business. We actually have two coaches in our business. Myself, a master coach for Workman Success Systems, and our sales manager, Chris, is a senior level coach, all right? We also have coaches, all right? And then we hire coaching for our staff or for our agents, a role play coach. We do that 3 times a week. We'll do some situational stuff. And so you can find somebody that will help you develop your skills, and you can find somebody that will help you develop systems, and you can find somebody that will help bring accountability so that you're focused on doing what you need to do. A lot of us entrepreneurs, a lot of us agents just don't have the right accountability. We have to report to our wives, we got to report to ourselves, we got to report to our families. But at the end of the day, we don't have somebody who's involved in our business that's going to help us go from where we're at to where we want to go. And so you can either spend a couple $1,000s a month or more to get the right coaching that's going to help you elevate, or you can choose a team that's going to have in-house coaching where the leaders are always invested into their own growth. All right. Like for instance, myself, I'm always going to conferences. I'm always looking to grow because it's an ever-changing marketplace, an ever-changing world. And the more I grow, the more I can invest into my agents and I can help them grow. I never want to be the bottleneck that stops my agents from growing. So I'm always investing into myself. And then the coach is there, myself is there, the leaders are there to try to transfer that skill set and that wisdom and experience as fast as they can to the other agents and team members. One of the other things that's really important is in a team environment is the culture of the team or the environment that you're in. Since COVID, so many people are working from home. And real estate agents worked a lot from home before COVID, but when COVID came, a much higher percentage of them started working from home. And so the daily atmosphere that you're in plays a really big role in how you're performing and the mindset that you're going to have. You know, there's a lot of dark times that can come up when you're on your own. You're at home by yourself. Maybe you've got a pet there with you, but you're home by yourself. You're taking care of laundry. You're doing groceries. You might be going for a walk, whatever it is that you're doing. It's not a very productive environment. You have all these distractions. And so the right culture and environment is really important because it creates growth. It creates an opportunity for you to thrive when you're around other top producers. Isolation kills progress, all right? It's hard to get motivated. It's hard to stay disciplined. And that's one of the number one things that kills real estate agent production is that they just don't have the discipline to be always doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. All right. And so how do you get that culture? How do you get that environment? Well, the right systems are going to help, right? Like the right systems are going to bring accountability. The right systems are going to bring organization. The right systems are going to make things flow much smoother. Collaboration is a huge thing. Imagine going into an environment where you're working together to solve problems instead of trying to figure it out on your own. Imagine going into an environment where you can take a problem to a colleague. Maybe you had an issue with a negotiation. Maybe you had an issue on showing. Maybe you can't get a buyer's agency agreement signed, whatever it is. You can go right into that organization and you can talk through that. The accountability that comes from that. And I'm not talking about just the accountability that comes from the leader. I'm talking about the self-accountability of the group. One of the things that we like to do within our organization is we share the leaderboard. And we track everything, the number of calls, texts, the appointments that you set, that you meet, the offers that you write. We track all of that. And we share it with each other. And when we do that, we can see who's winning and who's a little bit off. And the people that are winning want to help the people that are not doing so well. The people that are not doing so well are asking questions of the people that are winning so they can figure out how to level up together. When you have that shared energy at play, it really motivates you, it inspires you, and you just can't do that when you're on your own. And so finding a team with the right culture that challenges you inspires you can have a significant impact on your business. All right. Real estate teams are not sounding too bad now, are they? The other great thing about a real estate team is what it does for you personally, the life that you get back. I talk to a lot of agents and talk about wanting to have flexibility. Why did you get into real estate? Well, I got into real estate because I wanted to have the flexibility. Well, a friend of mine who's a business coach, very smart guy, once told me, he goes, flexibility for real estate agents equals poverty. Flexibility equals poverty. Reason being that most real estate agents don't have the discipline to stay focused on doing the things that they need to be doing, the priorities, okay? Rather than doing the things they need to be doing, they're doing the things that either feel good, they're avoiding the work, or they're chasing down fires in their personal life. What they really want, I know it's what all of you guys really want, is freedom, okay? Freedom to step away from your business. Freedom to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. Freedom to be able to pay your mortgage. Freedom to be able to go buy the car that you want. Freedom to be able to go on the vacation. Freedom to be able to retire at a reasonable age instead of selling homes when you're 75 years old and you're out there with a cane. Okay? When you're a solo agent, I know this. I go back in time and I know this for a fact that when you're a solo agent and you're pulled in all these directions and you're selling 8, 10 homes a year or more and you're managing all the transactions and you're the marketer and you're doing everything, you're wearing all the hats, you're the one that's missing out on little Johnny's game. You're the one who's distracted on vacation. You're at the game, you're on vacation, and you're on the phone trying to save deals. And if that deal starts going south, it creates a massive amount of stress for you. You're on vacation, you're supposed to be enjoying yourself, but instead you're stressed out by the transactions back home that you have to manage. The holidays that you've missed with your families, okay? So getting your personal life back, it's hard to put a money value on that, and not a lot of people talk about it too frequently, but you can always tell a realtor in the crowd. All right. And so what's involved in making sure that you get your personal life back? It's having colleagues that are there for you, to cover your showings when you're gone, to make sure that you don't have to miss date night because somebody called you at 4 o'clock and wants to go see this house that just hit the market. Being able to call a colleague and have them run the showing for you. Manage your listings while you're gone. Okay. Imagine being able to get out of town and there's offers coming in on your listings and you don't have to worry about that because you have a colleague or a listing coordinator who's handling that for you. All the hot clients that you're working. I don't want to take a vacation right now because Dave and Lisa are getting ready to pull the trigger on a house. I've been working with them for 12 months. They're finally ready to go. Well, guess what? If you have a great team, there's going to be somebody in there to fill in for your hot clients. Make that connection before you go on vacation. Let the client know you're on vacation, and your colleague's going to step in and show them any homes, write any offers, take care of business while you're gone. It's a huge benefit of being part of a team is being able to cover for each other. When you're on a great team, it allows you to unplug, recharge, and still grow. Now, I want to talk about this one big myth that I hear a lot. I don't want to join a team because the split is not going to be as good as if I'm on my own. Okay? My friends, we got to stop being worried about the split. The split is only one of 4 things that impacts how much money you make in a transaction. You've got the split. You got the purchase price of the property, you got the commission rate that you charge, and you got the number of homes that you sell. Okay? It's not about the split. It should be about the amount of money you make at the end of the year. If you're really focused on going over here for an 80-20 split, that's all ego-driven. The question you should be asking yourself is if I plug into this environment, if I plug into this ecosystem, how much money am I going to be able to make by being part of that team? When you're concerned about making more money, then you're concerned about taking care of your family. More transactions is greater than more money per transaction. What I mean about that is we shouldn't be concerned about how much money we're making per transaction. That's a small piece of it. We should be concerned about how can I sell more real estate. Here's an example. A $10,000 check or commission comes in and you're on an 80-20 split and you walk away with that with $8,000 and maybe you have some other fees. Okay, and you sell 5 homes a year. $8,000 per transaction times 5 homes is $40,000. If you're in a team, and let's just say for round numbers that we're going to use 50-50, okay, the splits are certainly going to be different from team to team, but it's typically going to be tied to the value the team is providing to you. Typically, the less value the team is providing, the higher the split will be for the agent. The more resources and value the team is providing, the lower the split's going to be because they got to pay for all those resources. Okay? And so let's just say you're in a team that's 50-50. When you close that $10,000 transaction, and you're probably doing 20 of those in a very well-leveraged team or more, you're going to have $5,000. $10,000 divided by half, you're going to earn $5,000 per transaction. Multiply that by 20 transactions, you made 100 grand. So we just compared getting a higher split on 5 transactions and making $40,000 to doing significantly more transactions because you've got leads, you've got support, you've got technology, you've got coaching, you've got everything that you need to succeed. You're going to sell a lot more real estate. You're going to make a lot more money. I got a couple examples I'm going to share with you really quick. One of my coaching clients out in Connecticut, he's got an agent on his team. The agent was actually at his brokerage. He runs a brokerage too. Agent was at his brokerage, and in 3.5 years, the agent had made $84,000. The agent joined his team late last year, and year to date, just 2 days ago when I talked to him, year to date, the agent on his team, that's on his team now, had made $96,000 year to date. This agent, when he was in the brokerage on a higher split, made $84,000 in 3 years, came onto the team, had all these resources, developed his skill set, had all the support, and has already made $96,000 year to date. Or my friend Brian Danny, who's out in San Diego, okay, go ahead and look this guy up. He sold $100 million of real estate last year on a team. He had 1 month where he did $20 million. He could easily go off on his own, do his own thing, and do extremely well. Why does he stay part of a team? Because of the environment, because of the resources, because of the collaboration, because of all the things that the team brings to him. He's able to sell a lot more real estate and have a lot more raving fans. My buddy Cody Weitzel works for Apex Real Estate in Lake Havasu. Cody sold 100 homes last year. Okay, Cody is scaling. He's probably going to sell 200 homes this year. He's scaling so fast and doing so much production that he now has a partner. So he's on a team, but he has a partner who's helping him with his business because his business is growing so fast. Cody's still on that team and grateful for that team because it's allowed him to get to where he's at. That without that team there, he wouldn't have gotten to that level. He's absolutely elite. The other thing about more transactions is, let's just say you sell 5 transactions in a year. In 5 years, that's 25 total transactions. If you're selling 20 transactions in 5 years, that's 100 transactions. Would you rather have a past client database that's providing you referrals and they're raving fans? Would you rather have 25 of them, or would you rather have 100 of them? That's when a business really takes off, my friends. And so, in closing, if you ever hear that joining a real estate team sucks or that it's better to go solo, then you're only getting the opinion from someone who's never experienced being part of an elite team. The right team can elevate you in ways that you absolutely can't imagine. And so if what I've shared with you today resonated with you, go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to connect and discuss how we can help you grow. And I hope that I've opened your eyes and opened your mind to how wonderful being involved in the right ecosystem and the right team can help you thrive. Have an amazing weekend.